no idea whether it's possible. Haven't got a clue. I've no idea if Liverpool are even interested. But that's where I would be going right now. Because we need to make sure that number one priority, which is right wing and pace, is looked after.
Oh, I forgot to move.
Mark said Liverpool's problem is they have a list of players from midfield area, possibly 5 choices, but they don't know which one to buy. Other teams jump in and snatch your options. Which is kind of infuriating, isn't it? Because we've had the whole winter, the whole year to build up to this. And remember, we did sweet fuck all in the January window, except agree a deal for Jacquet to come in the summer. But we sat on our hands. And then we did 2 windows before that when we also sat on our hands. And then we had that big summer window. And now it feels like, again, what is going on? Like, I don't think the World Cup being on is a valid excuse. Some teams are now starting to be knocked out of that tournament as the knockout stages go through. And not every player was at the World Cup either. There's lots of good players that were never at the World Cup. So I don't understand why we're dragging our heels with 10 days to go until the first guys start coming back for pre-season. So Manchester City, by the way, have just made an agreement with Leicester City to sign Jeremy Monga for 12.5 million plus a sell-on clause. The deal, worth about 12.5 million in total, is 10 million cash plus 2.5 million in add-ons, and that is according to The Athletic. So Manchester City reached an agreement to sign Jeremy Monga in 12.5 million deal from Leicester City. But you know, it's okay though, because we got in Munoz, and you know, now everybody's just. Another round table, perhaps. Maybe that'll get the job done, lads. What are we saying? Another round table? Another pat in the back session for the boys? Save the Manual said Sarah's the one right now.
City on choice, mate.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't. Now, Sarah would have to be, for me, number 2 on the right-hand side. But I wouldn't disagree. We've been kind of debating this in our Discord a little bit as well. Ismaila Sarr is English football proven. He's doing it again on the highest stage with his country. And he always seems to chip in with more than his fair share of goals. So, you know what? I wouldn't be against it one bit, mate. I wouldn't.
Man United average fan.
Said, I like Lamin Camara, but he's not a six old style. He's a box-to-box player in the 6th market of Boadi, Andreas Sangard, Tchouameni. Tchouameni's not for sale. See, it's difficult for us to have this discussion on Paul, isn't it? Because we're not working off a history with a manager that we know what he wants from that player. So we can look to his time at Bournemouth and think, does he want to Tyler Adams? Does he want to bring in something like
NTH, don't know what that means, mate.
You know, like you said, more box-to-box player. Truth is, I don't know. And I don't know if he wants a destroyer. I don't know if he wants a regista. I don't know if he wants a box-to-box. So, but what I do know is
Liverpool, mate.
Hackett may go. Jones looks like he wants to go. And we still need to get somebody in there. Now, whether it's the young lad from Stuttgart that we spoke about before, Andrej Kema, I don't know. But Boadi, look, there's always players at every World Cup that go over there and do really well. Now, Boadi was known about eBay online shopping and selling. The ignorance to how good he was until the World Cup. But there's no value in that.
I know you support.
And Liverpool,
probably City,
more often than not, don't want to get drawn into big bidding wars around players. And they also have had an embarrassing situation with Yandi Amonde, and we won't want that to be replicated. Now, on that Yandi Amonde situation, again, crediting Lewis Steele and Anfield Index here, speaking on their show, this is what Lewis Steele said. I think Liverpool were confident that they were going to get the Amonde. I think Liverpool have been played by the agent, to be honest. I don't think there's any sugarcoating it. They lost out on their main target. And we did. And again, I want to credit the journalists for actually being forthright and blunt about this. We shit the bed. And we got played. And how have we reacted to that? Well, we talked about how we wanted Liverpool to react to it, right? By going straight out there and moving on and getting transfers going.
Dirty bastard, man.
It's just stalled. And now the days are ticking by. And pre-season's getting closer. The first game over in the United States is on the 25th of July. As I mentioned, some players coming back in on the 13th. We need to get cracking. Right, on this poll, how many more signings do you expect this summer? So we asked 2, 3, 4 or more, or no more. And I said expect now. Remember, the word wasn't want, because if it's want, it will be in the 4 or higher category, definitely. 39% 89%, the most voted for answer, was 4 or more signs. That's what you expect to happen. I hope you're right. I hope we're all happy with that, because I'd love 4 or more. But put my pessimistic hat on, I don't know. I don't know how many we end up with after Bunos. I'm hoping that 4 or more comes to fruition, because I agree with the gentleman earlier on that said 7 or 8 is probably a number that feels like we need. Josh said, first off, I want to say thank you. On your streams have helped me over the years, especially when my health hasn't been great. Still not sure if we sign anybody, and I'm worried for next season. Well, firstly, Josh, messages like that, mate, are the reason why I love doing this, and it's why I love doing lives. You know, because whatever we do, or our community has done in some small way to help you out in a difficult time, dude, I want you to know and everybody else to know that that has also been the same for me. So I've had some health issues lately that I haven't gone into on stream, and I'm continuing to try to resolve off stream, including lifestyle changes and a few other things. And I've been down in the dumps a lot, and I've been feeling stressed a lot. But you guys, every night, man, every night you come in, you make me smile, you have a laugh. Even the idiots, our little trolling friends from the Ukraine and Russia, they make me smile with their stupid comments, because, you know, they just do. So, man, thank you, Josh. Appreciate you. And again, whatever we've done here, our community has done, again, you give back to us as well, bro. So thank you. Where was I? Would Kubo or any Amy be any good? So, what I would say to you about Kareem and the Amy is, just Google his off-field activity. I don't want to run a man down. I don't want to knock any fella down, or, you know, belittle him. But just Google some of his off-field issues, shall we say, or behavioural issues. It would be a no for me. And take a fuss at Kubo. I just don't think he's good enough, in all honesty. I've watched him a fair bit with Sociedad over the years. And, you know, flashes here or there, but never really found the consistency that I thought we were going to get from him. And my eye in the football world was going to get from him. I didn't expect him to kick on. Martaza said, I'm always happy when I see Liverpool connect with younger players like Gemma Andres. Really good to have 5 players signed like this. So that's a link that I love. Now, I'm not going to sit here and profess to be an expert on it, but when you hear he's described as baby Rodri, it gets your attention at least, and then you dig into it a little bit deeper and you find out that he's playing in the same Real Madrid youth team that won the treble as Daniel Munoz. Or Victor Munoz, excuse me, not the Colombian right back. Victor Munoz, who of course was online. So pedigree's there, and that will be somebody, of course, that Andoni Iraola would have very, very good understanding of, and very good connections for. But one that still intrigues me is the Fran Garcia link that came out on, I think it was on Redmen TV a few weeks back. I think they had a Spanish football expert on, and they were talking about Liverpool maybe looking at an 8 to 10 million euro deal for Fran Garcia, which I think we should be all over if that's possible. Whistling Williams said, when do you expect the next signing? My friend, I'd only be lying to you if I gave you a time frame. I don't know. You know, I am absolutely in the dark as much as anybody else on when something might happen. And you know, I don't mind that if it happens. Like, as we've pointed out many times, there's nothing wrong with a surprise signing or something that happens quickly. They're brilliant. That really makes my day, you know. And then, don't get me wrong, as a content creator, I love the ESAC type of situation as well, where you've got your talking point pretty much every day, your main talking point until it happens. But yeah, surprise signing is good as well. I feel a little bit unnerved at the minute with how quiet it is. James said, that's why we love you, Craig. You're so open and real. Thank you, man. I think it's important, especially for us men, you know. We always try to show bravado, and you know, but you know, it's tough for us at times. You know, all of us as adults are human beings, and you know, I'm so fortunate. You know, I get to talk about my stuff every night on here with you guys, and it helps me out a lot. Work through a lot of stuff, get fresh ideas on it. So here's one for you. I ordered my fat ass a threadmill today. Does anybody want to guess what branded threadmill that Craig bought? It shouldn't be too hard for you to guess, but I did order myself one today because that's part of the health and well-being stuff I'm working through with the doctors at the minute. Hughes hasn't. I can't read the rest of your account now, dude. This will be unpopular with some Liverpool fans, but will never be a dominant force under FSG like we were in the 80s. Klopp covered the cracks cheap. So I don't disagree with you on a lot of that. I always think that FSG are. This sounds weird when I say holding us back, because again, you have to acknowledge the good stuff that they've done, and there has been quite a bit. And we have had trophies since they've been here. Buddy. But it's never felt like a no stone unturned, kind of situation. Like they're really kicking down every door to figure it out. It does feel like we've been left a little bit behind a lot of the time, and it's one step forward, two steps back. So yeah, I get where you're coming from, and I agree. I don't think we'll ever become that dominant force with these owners either. But then again, if we did see new owners come in, what would that look like? Probably going to look like something similar. Another investment fund, another venture capital outfit, or whatever, a state-backed entity that comes in.
Drone has located a bomb.
There you go. First one with the right answer was move over. Hey, of course it was Adidas. Of course, I didn't even know Adidas in Fred Mills. Well, yeah, of course it's Adidas. Come on now, you should know me better than that, folks. Yeah, I was on the Catalan, I was strolling through the treadmill, and I thought, Adidas treadmill? Hello, we'll have a bit of that second. Somebody else says, a couple of ninja shouts in the background. Ninja Man treadmill, and they make that. Hopefully I'm looking at as well.
You've located a bomb. Make your way to its location.
Should we pursue the Mexican lad, Gilberto Mora? So my question there would be, we were supposed to be signing that young Colombian kid. I think it's 17, and was supposed to be coming to us, and maybe still is coming to us. So if we were going for him, I don't know if we'd have the need to go for that young fella. Now, I've seen lots of things about his price mentioned, and his agent, who I think is Rafaela Pimenta, talking about trying to get the best price and all this, but I think the release cost $20 million, if I'm not mistaken. And I just don't think that's what we need. We have Bird. We know Maka can play further forward if need be, although the extra in the world of green, I see you, a very fair guy. There was talk about ads and big respect. Yeah, so on the ad thing, I've had quite a think about that actually since that stream the other night. All I can ever do is explain a situation. I can't tell you to shut up and watch the ads, and I can't tell you you're not going to see an ad. All I can do is explain the reason content and hope that people understand. But like I've always said, no expectation from us here for anybody. If you come in and you watch, we're so grateful for that. We're so grateful for your time.
Fucking hell,
man. It is a
balancing
act, like I've said, we're the biggest Liverpool platform that doesn't have a paywall of any type. And we've worked really hard to try and keep it that way. And to see the guy the other night say, well, your sponsors and Super Chat should cover it. No, not by a long, long way. And also, I don't know, I think we're more than fair on here. We don't try to sell you cheap tap. We don't try to raise money for us for things. We try to give back in. And even, just here's a good example, right? Every month in 2026, we've done a giveaway. We've done a giveaway with Friends at Collector's Corner. And that was my idea, the giveaway, rather than them paying us. Because I wanted to give stuff back to our community. So I said, look, rather than us coming to a deal where you pay us every month, or even we get a percentage of sales, I just said, give us one signed item every month to give away to our community, and we'll crack on with that. Because I was more excited at the idea of being able to give away 12 signed and framed items to somebody or to you guys than I was about bringing in a few quid. And it's the same with other things. Every live show we do, we've never kept the money from one of them. Every single one of those live shows, we've reinvested that money back in, whether it was for the victims of the crash in Liverpool, whether it was to bring people over from Poland for a show, whether it was to put towards Adam and his GoFundMe. We always try to be really, really fair. And look, money is part of any conversation in a business. Of course it is. But it is far from the first thing that we talk about when we think about what to do here on the channel. So again, we try our best. We won't always get it right. Some people won't be happy. But I just want you to know, We're always open to feedback. We're always open to your opinion because we appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. Right, anyway. Cap LFC said, think we've fallen into the spend big money to win trap. Iriola gets the best out of his players. Raphael, I can't pronounce that surname.
Fucking hungry me, lad.
Number 6, 26 million. And there's plenty others like that.
Go get me dinner in a minute.
I can only speak for me here, my friend, because, you know, it's only one man's opinion. But I can promise you I've not fallen into big money to win trap. Now, I didn't say that you labelled that as you either. Well, I've said over the last couple of days, I just want Liverpool to fill the positions out. Like, I'm really excited by the idea of a Victor Munoz of 40 million quid. I think that's great business. And the idea of a young lad, like we've spoken about from Stuttgart, the young defensive midfielder for about 25 million. So yeah, for me it's not we need big money signings. Well, we did kind of paint ourselves into a corner a little bit to the right side because we knew Mohamed Salah was going to be the target. We knew Liverpool had to strengthen that area. And maybe everybody, myself included, maybe we all got a bit cocky thinking, yeah, this Diamande thing is in the bag because I kind of did think it was in the bag. And that got away from us because, you know, Richie Robot, Michael Edwards got played by Rock Nation. And now it just feels like we're at a sticking point in that there aren't really a whole host of huge options out there. So let's wait and see. But as long as we get enough bodies in, I'm happy to have young hungry players. I'm happy to have people that want to come and prove a point. Because like you said, and I agree, Iriola will improve players. There's no denying that. The only thing I won't accept as a fan this summer is not enough depth in the squad. It doesn't have to be Barcola, it doesn't have to be Diamande, it doesn't have to be Buani. Well, it does have to be a player in all the positions.
What the fuck, man?
Scott, always a pleasure, Mr. Enderson. 28 months with us.
No way.
As a member, thank you. So much love, Craig. Stay well, make moves.
Mission failure.
FSG, FFS. Yes, please do make moves. So, James Pearce has said, Virgil van Dijk's go nowhere. Suggestions that Liverpool would even consider any offers for the talismanic defender are wide of the mark. Thiago Alcantara, we can rule out him coming back to Liverpool to work with Andoni Iriola as he was asked about it and he said, I don't have the badges now. So it doesn't look like it'll be Thiago coming in to work with Andoni Iriola. PC Drat said, getting a treadmill was a game changer for me. So the way it's working for me is, so the studio space that we built, I use about 60% of it to do this, to work. And there's still a bit of space down the other end, so I just thought, you know what? Get your fat ass a treadmill. Continue the weight loss with Wegovy. Get a treadmill. Make yourself a bit healthier and give it a go. So we'll see what happens, my man. But I'm glad it went well for you. Wish you every success as well. CSH85, how are you, my friend? Said Craig, hope you're well. Been watching for just over a year now and enjoying your content. Thank you, dude. Keep up the good work. And what system do you think Andoni Iriola will play and set up? Good question on the system. I've gone back and forth on this.
Okay, nice man. I don't want to download, mate. Get out of it.
We're just going to do that. But honestly, I expect a little twist from Iriola because he's coming in to work with higher caliber players, or at least on paper, higher caliber players. So that's one of the things that fascinates me about Andoni Iriola's tenure is, will he be able to get the same buy-in from the players that he's gotten, former hungry players, let's say? Will he get Musa pressing? Will he get Bert operating the way we like him? Will he be able to get Hugo firing as well? Will he be able to get wingers to get the ball into the box for restart? What will happen? It's almost like where will he be utilised? And even go back to the conversation we had earlier on.
Damn.
Number 6 in the system.
Damn.
Which type of 6 is he going to want?
What
Is he
is?
going to want 6?
Op 4 has located a bomb.
Is he going to want somebody who spots out passes? Is he going to want somebody who sets up and sets the tempo of the attack? All these things fascinate me, and that's why I'm so looking forward to pre-season. We really get to see Andoni Iriola's Reds out there and at least work out maybe what we'll see in the season ahead. Tony, how are you, Tony? Said, hey Craig, what do you think of Bowen to Liverpool? I would love it, Tony. Love it. I've said it months ago. I've always been a big Jared Bowen fan, and I wanted him when Jurgen Klopp was at the club, and I would take him in a heartbeat now. Now, I don't think it'll happen, and I've not seen or heard anything behind the scenes that, you know, makes me think Liverpool are going to progress a deal there. But it would be a very clever piece of business for me. Now, it wouldn't sort out our pace issue, it wouldn't do that, but it would give us another versatile attacker who knows where to go, you know, has never really played at the top level of Europe yet.
No fucking way, man.
League that with West Ham, but he's never played Champions League football. I think he'll come from one point.
There's no way, man.
Maybe another club is going to be his destination. We talked before, I think Everton have been talking about Bournemouth at one point, and I can't remember the other club that played, so I love it, but I don't think it's possible. And again, if you're looking at the resale value, there's not much there, if any, so it'll be a very unlike Michael Edwards type deal. So it would have to be something like a 25-30 winning win deal, but it doesn't look like that's likely because I don't think there's any clause in his West Ham deal for relegation. Keir Bellamy said, Craig, I used to deliver to Bowen's mum. She's a Liverpool supporter and keeps on him to join us. Well, Mrs. Bowen, keep up the good work. Keep pounding him. Well, that sounds a bit fucking weird. Don't pound your son. Don't. Keep hounding him was the phrase I was looking for. Pounding him could end up a little bit dicey, so.
Zami.
Padge said, Isak under Iriola. Can insane press work with him? So, I was watching him a little bit, and his movements off the ball for Sweden. And I do think we will be able to get him to press. Now, he might not press like a machine, but I don't think he's going to just lazily trudge his way around the pitch. I think with Isak, what I tend to look at more is he cutting off the channel? So if the goalkeeper's right foot, is he cutting off the easy pass to the goalkeeper? Is he stopping a simple ball out? There's the type of things that would be expected from him.
I'm not cooking
and
on
also, when we're talking about Isak, I think the calibre and the type profile of wingers that we bring in this summer, that should be part of the appeal of any of these guys. Is we need somebody to put the ball across that 6-yard box and get Isak firing. But I do think we will be pleasantly surprised with the work rate from Isak. But I don't think it'll be Bobby Firmino level of press. But I don't think we'll be shouting at him to move. Thundercats Litterbox, how are you? Right wing is a spot that world football is missing. Bring up a list of the best in the world, and half of them are natural left wingers playing out of position. So, I have a bee in my bonnet about inverted wingers. I'm fed up of it only being the conversation. You know, a right winger has to cut in from the left, and a left footer has to cut in off the right hand side. I'm not having it. Excuse me, a right footer cutting in off the left footer cutting off the right. There's nothing wrong with going around with your naturally strong foot on the outside either. You know, used to be wingers playing the natural foot on the outside. These days, modern football has a hard-on for inverted wingers. But again, it depends what you want. If you want somebody to chip in with 25, 30 goals and you're relying on a Mohamed Salah-esque figure, fair enough. Maybe you want to cut in with a stronger foot. But that's not what I think we're going to need. We're going to want Isak to be scoring the majority of our goals. But I need Barnes to step up with a few. Soboslai to step up with a few. So maybe one inverted winger, one natural winger, one that works on his, stronger foot on the right hand side, let's say, and then maybe somebody who cuts in on the other side, but somebody who is willing to go both ways, unlike Mr. Cody Gakpo, who, seems to just love dipping into the right. Sheldon said, I think I wouldn't worry if Van Dijk was brought in, we bring another centre-back because Van Dijk isn't too good anymore, he'll always be causing a goal. But it's the experience as well. There's so much more to somebody like a Van Dijk than just what happens on the pitch. There's the training ground, there's the leading of the lads, there's the holding people to account, and then there's the positioning, there's the guiding of the back line, there's the helping out of the younger players who are making their way in, like Jeremy Jacquet, like Giovanni Leone. So, I think you can't just rule out how important that is. It was one of the reasons why I said when I'd seen the links for us and Jules one day, it excited me because it's a centre-back / right-back who's coming in their prime. And that's the big concern for me when Virgil leaves is we have a real dearth of experience then at centre-back. You'll have a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old at that point. And then what else? So when we let Canade go, in my head, I said, okay, that's your decision. If you don't think Canade's worth the money he wants, that's fair enough. But you better get your ass out there and get another experienced centre-back. Because you've just let an international calibre centre-back walk out the door for nothing. You can't just brush your hands together and say, oh well, we don't need to bring one in. Yes, we fucking do. We absolutely do. Nachos LFC said, why do you think it's gone so quiet on transfer front? Is Iriola still assessing squad options? Are we not finding any value in the market? So, Iriola doesn't really have anything to do with transfers. Now, he'll talk to the players like he did with Victor Munoz. Well, if you go back and read some stories about Donny Iriola during his time at Railway, he's not one to get overly interfering in the transfer market. He leaves that to a sporting director. Now, of course, there'd have to be a profile of player that would work in a system, but that would be worked out predetermined. So I don't think it's anything to do with him assessing the squad. I think it's to do with embarrassment from losing out on Monday the way we did, and I don't think Liverpool want to lose face by trying for another big deal quickly that might not come off, so they're trying to just work silently and quickly to get something done, and I hope we wake up tomorrow and we see a signing. But lucky in Arne Slot's first season and wasn't as good as was thought, because they went out last summer and they spent a lot of money, but can we say that any of those big money signings have been a success? Hugo, probably the most likely. Vert, no. Hope he will be, every chance he will, but not to this point. Isak, absolutely not to this point. Frimpong, nope. Very difficult. Even Kirkes, other people would say probably didn't have the best season. I think it was an understandable season for him, but we need to get it right this time. We need to just get it right, but get it done. Monster Madness said, big news from ITK Space. RB Leipzig willing to separate with Nusa for 50 million. Who would take him, and do you think he's good enough? I would take him tomorrow. The only answer you've ever heard me give to Antonio Nusa was that I don't think Leipzig would sell both of their wingers in one window. That was the answer I've always given. But is he good enough? Absolutely. He can operate off either flank. You can see what he can do with the World Cup as well with the goals he's scoring. So I would have no problem with him. And at 50 million quid, I think that's a really good piece of business. Now, doesn't mean Liverpool are going to go and do it, but do I think they should? Yes. Like, let's play this out, right? Nusa and Rayan. That's it. Boxed off. Job
9.
done. Thank you very much. We move on.
9.
Rayan,
What's up, man?
Nusa,
You right?
Victor Munoz, Rio, Gakpo.
Just can't eat my din-dins,
And then
mate.
maybe Gakpo leaves,
back
maybe
into the
he doesn't.
gameplay after.
That'll be... Let's put it to the chat.
My G.
Let's ask the chat.
G word is so funny.
Should we sign him for
Sub
50
G.
million? So, should Liverpool sign Nusa for 50 million? Yes or no? You can put me straight into the yes camp there, by the way. I think Keno sent it on to me because Keane's a legend. 1 second. So, this was the post that you guys were talking about. Just posted, said RB Leipzig are willing to sanction Antonio Nusa's departure this summer should an offer in the region of £50 million, €59 million arrive, with several European elite clubs maintaining an interest in Norwegian winger as exclusively revealed. This is very much one to watch over the upcoming weeks as the situation is gathering significant momentum behind the scenes and could develop rapidly if one of the interested clubs decides to formalise their interest with an offer in the expected range. Now, obviously it doesn't name drop Liverpool in there, doesn't rule out Liverpool in there, but hypothetically I would be absolutely up for that, yes. And we'll see what the poll shows, but I would suspect it's most likely going to be a yes from you guys as well. Right, let's keep going. Actually, another post here from earlier on today from that same account, ITK Space, said RB Leipzig have not given up their efforts to keep Jan Diamonde for at least one more season. Exactly as first revealed months ago, despite the existing agreement between Paris Saint-Germain and the player, Leipzig remain determined to explore every possible avenue to delay the transfer, and discussions have taken place between PSG President Nasser Al-Khelaifi and Oliver Mintzlaff over a potential compromise for a move in 2027. Whether in 2027, whether through a release clause or a gentleman's agreement, similar to the arrangement that once kept Xavi Simons at Leipzig. However, a transfer this summer remains entirely possible if PSG decide to accelerate negotiations and arrive with an overwhelming financial package. Still, do not be surprised if Jan Diamonde and RB Leipzig reach an agreement in the coming days or weeks that keeps him at the club for one more season before completing his move to Paris in 2027. So, if they keep him for one more year, that would make it almost, more difficult to get Barcola out of there, because they're going to still look for Akliouche, I think, but I don't think you'd have a great chance, or an improved chance anyway, of getting him out if Leipzig are going to hang on to Diamonde for one more year. Where was this other one? This. FSG better drop 50 million for Nusa before PSG go for Jan. I can't tell you if we're interested in Antonio Nusa. I haven't got a clue. Don't know anything about it. I can only give you an opinion as a fan. And as a fan, that seems like good value to me. 50 million quid for a player that has experience. He's getting more experience, obviously, at the World Cup with his national team. So I'd be all over it. I'd be all over Nusa, and I've liked watching him in the World Cup as well. I think I scored a really good goal the other day for Norway. Craig, I hope you're well. I watched the Anfield Index video where Lewis Steele spoke and was suggesting that Barcola may prefer Arsenal rather than confirming he does. Have I missed a tweet? So, Lewis Steele said that he never said that. Keane sent this to me earlier on. So, Lewis Steele was replying to Arsenal ZNE about the player preferring a move to Arsenal. and he said I never said that. Now, I know Lewis Steele has talked about Barcola, but I don't know exactly what he said on the video with Anfield Index. Now, I can find out, obviously, by reaching out to our friends at Anfield Index or by going and watching the video, but other than that, mate, I don't know. Look, we do know it's an option for Arsenal. You know, that's been pretty clear for a while. If they couldn't get Morgan Rogers, Barcola's name was another one that they were looking at. And do I see, you know, the appeal of London to a lot of players? Yes, especially if you're moving from a place like Paris and you are a fan of culture and you want to, you know, be where it's all happening. You can see a lot of players would head towards London, but I don't know after that. All I know is he denied that one anyway. I mean, the quote that was attributed to him was that Bradley Barcola is understood to favour a move to Arsenal over Liverpool if he leaves this summer. The chance to work under Mikel Arteta, along with the appeal of living in London, could give the Gunners the edge in the race for the France international. But he denied saying that. He then said, Fabrizio Romano said, Liverpool have made Bradley Barcola their top attacking target this summer. The Paris Saint-Germain winger is viewed as the leading option to strengthen Liverpool's front line, and PSG would only consider a deal if they receive a significant offer for the France international. And the number that's been doing the rounds is £116 million. Look, all I can say is, if it is going to be Barcola, I hope we at least get...
Fucking ads, man. I don't know.
The situation is with Diamonde and they get their own deals over the line, so I don't know. So what's the Ben Jacobs thing? Someone saying Ben Jacobs bomb. You need to give me a bit more than that, my friends. Craig, have you heard any defensive midfield option Liverpool is concrete in signing? Not in signing, no. Interested in, yes. Kema Andres, like we've said before, from Stuttgart. But other names, Lamine Camara, Liverpool are interested there. Buadi, look, you won't be surprised to know we're interested on that one. But nailed on to sign or likely to sign? No, I certainly wouldn't feel comfortable giving you a name in that and standing over it because I just don't have one.
Oh, hit us on.
If we buy Barcola, we'll pay for them by Diamonde. We need to boycott PSG. So, look, I'm a fickle little fucker. I am. I'm petty. So I wouldn't do it because of that. But what's Liverpool's best option? You know? Is it to just bite the bullet and think, okay, well, look, we may be paying for Yan Diamonde to go there, but also we are going to get a very good player. So I think ultimately I'd probably swallow the pride and try and get it done. But you know what we couldn't happen? We couldn't have happened that Liverpool try, fail and look stupid again. Then we're starting to look like a laughing stock. You know, we're becoming Newcastle 2.0 at that point. Will Kieran Morrison get a chance this season? No. I can't remember if Kieran Morrison's already gone or somebody will be able to remind me, but there was something about Kieran Morrison recently, whether he'd already gone on loan or it was a permanent deal. There was something about him moving on.
No, I like Butchers.
Save the Manual said, with the current squad, getting Kamara would be fine in my opinion, but we really need to sell somebody, maybe Endo.
Bastards,
It looks
yes.
like Jones wants out, like I've said. So if a buyer comes in and Jones is open to the move, maybe. It doesn't look like he's interested enough to Nottingham Forest, and it doesn't look like Inter Milan are going to pony up the money to sign Curtis Jones from Liverpool. So what happens there is anyone's best guess. The Maka situation, it was always going to be one that if he did move on would probably be later in the window. I'm not really sure what club would come to the table with the money that Liverpool would want for Maka. Not likely going to be Real Madrid at this point, not going to be Barcelona, so then you really only have a handful of clubs left in world football that could come up with the numbers to make it work. The one that I would say maybe keep an eye on outside is Atletico Madrid, but even at that, that's not credible. It's not me saying it's likely to happen, it just feels like that's a potential. So, Ben Jacobs said, Cody Gakpo is a name on Spurs' list. Liverpool have no real desire to sell. If anybody wants to do business, they're going to point towards Anthony Gordon's $70 million move to Barcelona. The player has not told Liverpool he wants to leave as of today. Now, let me just say that there's a number for Cody Gakpo, and we have to be honest and upfront about this. There is a number that will get Liverpool's attention. So all the briefings that you'll hear saying Liverpool don't want to lose him and the player hasn't told Liverpool he wants to leave, that's all just window dressing. Ultimately, if somebody bangs 65, 70 million quid down on the table and Gakpo said he's up for the move, Gakpo gets sold, in my opinion. That's what I'm hearing. That's the information. But if the money doesn't come in and Gakpo doesn't agitate for a move, there's every chance he stays as well. Well, he knows that sooner or later, probably sooner, he's going to be playing second fiddle to Rio, because Rio is going to be the star boy moving forward, and Gakpo coming into the prime of his career now, he's going to want to go and play regularly. So let's see what happens with Spurs. Do they come in with the offer? Do they continue to go after Savinho? Let's wait and see. This from Ben Jacobs said PSG are making progress on Yan Diamonde deal. They have had verbal talks with Leipzig over a total package worth up to €100 million. There is optimism they can get the asking price down. Sources believe come the end of the window, Diamonde will have choice. That's an interesting one though, isn't it? Like, if they get a deal for Diamonde sorted out for €100 million, we look like even bigger fucking idiots. You know, because we put that offer, 2 offers. The last one, 80 plus 20 to Leipzig, and it was turned down. So if we see that PSG end up signing up for a similar number, you're going to have to start asking even more questions about Factor 50 Richie and Michael Edwards in this. He also said all of the below means that Bradley Barcola's situation is still open. If PSG add 1 or 2 wide attackers or wingers, the door becomes open for Barcola to leave. PSG and Barcola are at an impasse over contract talks. At the right number, PSG might be prepared to sell. Liverpool and Barcola could be a developing story. He's high in the attacking thinking as Liverpool look to add another attacker. Arsenal want Rodgers but also have Barcola on their list. He said Bournemouth are telling suitors that Alex Scott is not for sale. My understanding from the interesting club is they think the door might still be open and Bournemouth value Scott at around £80 million. Now, if we somehow ended this window with Alex Scott, Bradley Barcola, Victor Munoz, a right back, a DM, I'm saying that's a good window. Now, I'd like a few more fringe squad players to be added in, but that would be a good window for me. But again, you got to be interested in Nusa at 50 million. That has to get your attention if you're Liverpool, surely. Red Dinosaur Mother said lag. There could be, mate. You know, we are working on. I'm just checking here. Small little drop there for a second. There was a few drop frames. We are working on not our normal Wi-Fi, so there's every chance there could be a little one, or a broadband I should say. I had an engineer friend of mine out here last night with me helping give us a patch fix because the broadband is down in my area. So we had to go out, buy a new router, a 5G router, and try and sort it all out last night. So if there is a tiny bit of lag, I apologise, but this was the best we could do to make sure I could still stream. Itachi said Nusa, Rayan, Buwadi, Kunde, bang. Yeah, in that order as well. The bang would come last, yeah. I'll ask Mrs. Holden about that.
10 seconds to go.
Lucy said, yeah, we don't need to spend 120 million to get a decent player in. They're out there, but they need to stop dragging their heels in the market. The signings to be done 100% and not 40%.
Hey.
Yeah, we do need to get it done. But the irony is, the one position we wanted to get done early looks like it could be the position that now, because it's sort of out of our control, might be later in the window. I don't know. Like, how would everybody feel about Barcola late in the window? Would you still be happy enough? Because ideally, you know, I'd want him in as early as possible, but I guess he still has to go finish the World Cup with France, have his holiday.
Oh, no.
So you're probably not seeing him back until the games around Monaco and Como, probably in around that time. I don't understand it. If it isn't for money, why would Yan Diamonde go to PSG? Well, they are back-to-back European champions. You know, we've got to acknowledge that. Also, his father lives in Paris. He's been away from his family, you know, as he tried to chase his footballing career for a while. So, you know, I think at this point, you have to acknowledge that PSG have become a powerhouse in European football. Now, the French league, I think, has also come on over the years, but, you know, that could be what he just wants. And also, if I'm trying to play devil's advocate with it, if he goes into PSG, and I'm not trying to, you know, make us feel better about not getting him, but if he goes to PSG, he's going to go into a team where he probably isn't expected to come in.
eBay online shopping and selling.
He's coming in and he has to be ready. He has to play
Secure the area.
because he would be where the outlay was. Whereas if you go to PSG, you've still got Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, probably Akliouche coming in as well. So, you know, there would be other players there that would give them a little bit more breathing room to bed him in slowly and for Luis Enrique to get him up to speed. Whereas with Liverpool, we want them in there playing day one. Paul, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Have a good evening. Follow. Monster Madden playing day one. Paul, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Have a good evening. Follow. Monster Madden said Stiller, Scott, Mane, Wharton, Buadi, Kema. You can pick two. Who are you taking and why? I love Stiller and Mane. Uriola will create beasts. So Mateus Mane for me would be a no because I don't think he's ready yet, and that's my honest answer. Is he a good player? Absolutely. Will he make it to a big Premier League club? Yes, but I just don't think he's ready. So I think he should stay at Wolves for another year. That's my honest opinion. Scott I would take tomorrow, and Scott and Buadi would be the two for me. But I'd also take Kema. I would, because I'm intrigued by him. Comes from very good pedigree. Came through the Madrid youth system, played in the same team as Victor Munoz, like I've said, and you know, anyone described as baby Rodri suddenly gets my attention. Matteo Sula from Roma isn't a bad shout either, with over 10 goals and assists in Serie A with a price of around 40 million. But we have to also be honest and say Serie A shit. Like, let's be frank about it. I grew up, Serie A was the league. That was it. That was number one. Now Serie A is... You know? So it's not a great league. That doesn't mean there aren't good players in it. And I'm not trying to say there aren't good players, but it isn't the league it once was. It just doesn't have the financial might to compete these days. And, yeah. And also, it's not a name I've heard Liverpool linked with at all. Worlds, Gabriel's test from Mariam. It's better to forget Barcola for good and concentrate on other wingers. So, let me tell you how I think Edwards and Hughes might be looking at this situation. I have to say might be, but think about it this way. So if you're Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, maybe FSG,
What the fuck?
you're looking at PSG and thinking, okay, you might get Yan Diamonde, seems like you've beaten us to him. You may get Akliouche.
No way. Didn't even...
But we also know you're going to have an unhappy player on your hands then. Because if Barcola, who has had a very good World Cup with France, sees that you're still bringing in wingers, and you can't get a break on a contract with him, maybe then Liverpool will think, well, we're going to try this and try and get him for a good chunk less than the number that's doing the rounds. Now, whether that works or not, let's wait and see. But I can certainly see the logic behind it. As a fan, it would make me nervous and tetchy because that would mean it would drag on and on and on. But if you got it done, you know, like if we, let's say, in some world, signed Barcola for 85, 90 million,
Why
you gotta say that would be good business. With the price we're seeing at the minute in world football for a lot of players, that would be good business. But it would take balls, and it would also take trying to call PSG's bluff on it. Now, PSG, as we know, are not short of money, so they could use the situation to, not to say to make an example of the player, but to show that they won't be bullied into anything. Derek said Cody Gakpo wants out. I think that could be the case, Derek. You know, and when you see the reports, like I said earlier on, about Liverpool not being aware he wants to leave, and Liverpool not wanting him to leave, and then here comes a number, right? Because there's always a number, and when the number comes into the conversation, you've got your answer. Because if Liverpool didn't, like, there's no number for Virgil van Dijk. There's no number for Isak. But if there is a number, well, what does that tell you? It tells you that they've thought about it, and that's a number that will get their attention. So, what I hear there is, there's every chance Cody Gakpo leaves. That's the way I read that situation, and that's the way it's being perceived behind the scenes by a lot of people. Would I swap Wirtz and 50 million for Elise? Oh, that's a filthy question. Oh.
10 seconds. Down to 5 seconds. Op 4 has located the bomb.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because part of me says, nah, fuck you. This guy can win a Ballon d'Or. He's going to kick on and we could look like mugs. But there's another part of me that thinks, oh, I don't know. It might be possible. It might work. It could be brilliant. I don't know. Let me phrase it to you a different way, if that's okay. Let me phrase it to you this way. Would you take... If we're playing the hypothetical game, I'm on the fence on that one, and I'd probably lean towards no, because of the age of Wirtz and the potential that I think he has. But let me put it this way. Would you take 30 million plus Isak to get Elise? What about that? Because I would. I know that would leave us up shit creek without a centre forward, but I would. You know, Wirtz, I love Wirtz, and I think he's going to be huge for us. But I've always had sort of concerns about the situation with why we signed Isak and why we spent that much money after bringing in Hugo. That one always felt like a bit like overkill, and somebody just wanted this guy. But yeah, I'd probably do that, yes. But I don't know about Wirtz. Tom said, hey Craig, Minta is not the one, but as a squad player he could be great. A few moments of brilliance this season as somebody who watches Brighton live a lot. Again, as a secondary option, as somebody to come in and be a player in the squad, Tom, no problem whatsoever. But not to be the guy after, let's say, we don't get Yan Diamonde. It's just, the fall off there made level to be just too much for me. But, you know, as a squad player, like you've said, or as an option, yeah, no problem whatsoever. Just not as the guy. Novix said, I've been seeing rumours of Vinny to Liverpool. Is it true? Absolutely not. That I'm aware of. Look,
Damn.
I don't think Liverpool will be able to pay Vinicius Jr. what he'll want. And I've never seen any link, personally, to Vinicius Jr. and Liverpool. So I think Vinny signs his new deal at Real Madrid and stays there. I just think that's what's going to happen. But no, I don't think there's anything to that. Minta will cost around 80 million, no way, second choice. There's no way anybody should pay 80 million quid for Minta, though. Like, that's the more astounding thing about that statement than, you know, me saying he'd have to be a backup. If we paid 80 million quid for Yakuba Minta, I'm about to smash my television in anger, because that's the height of stupidity. If you spend, anybody who spent 80 million quid on Minta needs their head examined. It's just a ridiculous number. K-Dips 18 said, Ekatike will be fine once fully fit. Isak is a bit of a worry. Even in this World Cup, I wasn't impressed at all. Look, the upside of Isak is obvious, right? I'm a builder's merchant with over 8,000 products for hire, all under 5
years old and delivered in under 3 hours? That must be Bradford's.
Million on a striker, it just felt excessive, if I'm being honest with you. Like, if we held off and we didn't go after Ekatike and we just used that money for Isak, and then let's say we brought in, I don't know, somebody for 30 or 40 million who can, be a decent backup, I'd understand that. But to go out there and get two bona fide starters who would want to play through the centre, it always felt a bit like we were proving a point to somebody or something. Like, it never really made sense to me as a window. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying I'm angry about it. We got two good centre forwards, but I can't get away from it. Last summer, if I had the choice between Isak and Julian Alvarez, every day of the week I'm going for Alvarez. Even if it was another 30 million quid, I'd be going for Alvarez, because I just think he's a better player, and I think he would work better in our system. Isak, you're always going to have that nagging concern at the back of your mind that an injury could be around the corner. But again, he scores goals, so let's just hope we can get him firing. Dave said Anfield Index said we're looking at Pedro Neto. I think we discussed that one the other night, Dave. Let me just go back through my notes, bro, and I'll check for you. I think we did touch on this one the other night. Yeah, here, I have it here. So, it was Dave Davis who was, I think, doing a transfer show with, if I'm not mistaken, Trevor Downey, I think, at the time. And shout out to two good lads. Said, dropping in a shock name, Dave Davis revealed the Reds' interest in Chelsea winger Pedro Neto. He said, Liverpool seem to be in bed with George Mendes, the agent, whose client is Pedro Neto. He's very distinct, Neto. If I'm trying to be positive about this, he's a carrier, his passing is good. He's a crosser, the cross expected threat 95th percentile, the cross value 93rd percentile, and he went on to say, and the Chelsea star would apparently be keen on the move, the Liverpool journalist went on to say. Our info is getting this stood up today. Neto would jump at the chance. So, I don't know. I don't personally have that information that Dave Davis had, but I have the height of respect for him as a person. I have the height of respect for his contacts. So, if Dave Davis says that's a possibility, I have to truly believe that that's information that he got genuinely. They would be an outlet that we have a good relationship with, Anfield Index. They're somebody that we would chat with quite a bit behind the scenes, and an outfit that I have the height of respect for. It just, I don't know, it just feels like if we wanted Neto, would we not have moved towards Neto when he was leaving Wolves? And it wouldn't overly excite me, because we're looking at a possibility of a player who had injury concerns before. Your take on the current CR7 fiasco. By the way, Messi or CR7. Right, well, if you could, and I can't, but if I could tilt the camera this direction, 36 inches from my hand, there's a signed Lionel Messi shirt on the wall. I love Leo Messi. I have a Messi Argentina shirt with his name and number on the back from this World Cup that I have upstairs in my wardrobe. I'm an absolutely unashamed Leo Messi fanboy, and always will be. There isn't even a conversation to be had for me about which one of them is best. Lionel Messi is by far and away the best player of our generation. Cristiano Ronaldo was second on the list, and there's nothing wrong with that. Cristiano Ronaldo's had an incredible career. And Cristiano Ronaldo is a perfectly good example of living the lifestyle of an athlete, looking after yourself, eating well, and being a pro. And has done incredible things and deserves every accolade he gets. I'm not a hater of Ronaldo, but Messi is fucking Messi. And Messi does things with the football that just astounds me. And you never see Messi on the front pages. Messi is a quiet family man who goes about his work. But I think it was Zlatan Ibrahimovic said this, and he kind of summarises it. Yeah. Lionel Messi gets told by everybody that he's the greatest player, but Cristiano Ronaldo tells everybody that he's the greatest player. That summarised it perfectly for me. The answer is Messi. unless you're maybe a United fan or something like that, I don't think it's even a debate. And my take on the current Ronaldo fiasco, I don't know. I don't know of the fiasco you talk about. He was substituted, and I have to say, I did feel that if Portugal had gone out in that game, I did feel a little bit for Cristiano Ronaldo, because you wouldn't have wanted your last act as an international football player to be substituted at the World Cup in a game that you got knocked out of. So in that moment, I actually said, I hope he gets through this one, because I don't want him going out, because he has been an absolutely incredible servant to the Portuguese national team. Now, you can say he stayed on a bit too long, I get all of that, but he shows up, he cares deeply about his country, and he plays every opportunity he can. Sorry, said R9 is my go. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because if you were to shift 12 inches across to the right from the signed Lionel Messi shirt, there he is, Ronaldo Nazario, signed a Ronaldo shirt next to Messi's one. And then if you were to look a little bit past that one, there's a signed Ronaldinho shirt. And then a little bit past that one, there's a signed Kaká shirt. And that is my Ballon d'Or wall that I have been saving up and spending money for the last 5 years to put together. So yeah, that is my life's work, if you want to say that, hanging up on that wall there. Messi, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Kaká. LFC Spectre said, but Ronaldinho is by far the most skilled player I've seen in my lifetime. I can't argue with that. Ronaldinho just brings a smile to your face when you watch them play football.
You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Any room for Cruyff? If I could get my hands on a signed Johan Cruyff shirt, I'd always make room for it. Zidane is insane too. Yeah, I won't put a Real Madrid player on my wall though in a Real Madrid shirt. I know Kaká played for them, but my Kaká shirt is a Brazil one. And I won't put a France shirt on the wall because, Thierry Henry's a handball and cheating bastard. Fuck France. Why is Elmo in the corner? He's, the way some people have like a wank sock? No, I'm not going down that route. It's a long story, dude, but it's a family thing. Elmo means a lot to my wife, means a lot to our family, and we've always had something Elmo in all of our studios and stuff. If you look back in the old days, he was on the shelf behind us. So when we got the Real World studio, I went on to Amazon and ordered a Tickle Me Elmo.
Hello.
Say nothing. Have you got your Trent Ballon d'Or one ready? Not quite yet, no. Not quite yet. Nobody puts Elmo in the corner. Damn right. Elmo I know. He's on the sesh when I leave here. I know. Full Toy Story shit. I bet you Elmo's on here dancing on these tables when I leave here at night. Now, I can't prove it, but I wouldn't bet against it. Rook said, Neymar will forever be my favourite player. He made me fall in love with football. You're not going to like me now, mate, because I will agree with you on the talent, but I absolutely despise Neymar with every fibre of my being. And I'll tell you why. He is the greatest example of the modern bullshit of football. A player who didn't fulfill his potential, never won a Ballon d'Or when he should have had multiples, spent more time taking time off for his sister's birthday and acting like a gobshite. And I have a real beef for players that I don't think got the most out of their careers. And Neymar is the epitome of all of that for me. The epitome of a diva, the epitome of everything I would not want my child to become as a footballer is him. I despise the man. I can't hide it, I fucking hate him. But he's a great player.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to take away from his quality, but there's nothing frustrating more than a player who left something on the table in their career. You look at some players like Frank Lampard, or we talked about Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo got every single thing he could out of his career. Every ounce, every bit of everything. Put it all in there, lived the life, was an athlete. all too early, too soon. And yes, that MSN era at Barcelona was out of this world. But I don't think he did it long enough in his career. I don't think he showed the brilliance that he had. Because for me, Neymar should have been up there with your Ronaldos and your Messis. Because he has the talent.
Holy shit.
I don't think Liverpool will make any signings on the pre-season. Manager wants to assess the players. Colin, I can only repeat this. He has no input.
Oh my god.
None. And that's the way he wants it. That's not me being a dick to go Andoni Iraola. He just doesn't want it that way. Andoni Iraola leaves that stuff to the sporting director. Now, of course, there will be.
I didn't keep peeking as well, man.
Player he wants for his system. But he isn't sitting there waiting to assess anybody. He knows about Liverpool. He knows what we need. And again, that would be suicide for Liverpool to wait for a coach to come in before even looking at targets or what to do. So, no, that isn't the reason we're not doing business, mate. I don't know what the reason is, but that isn't it.
Actually, no, it's on me.
Oh, Nick Patel Music said Suarez is better than Neymar. Look, again, all I can say is Neymar is a hugely talented footballer, and I just don't think he gave it all in his career. That's it. Itachi said, what would be your favourite current front line in world football? For me, it would be left wing Kvaratskhelia, right wing Elise, central attacker midfielder Vert, striker Haaland. What would be my favourite in world football? Left wing Kvaratskhelia, right wing, I would agree with you on Elise, striker Harry Kane, and central attacking midfielder. Yeah, I think I'll stick with Wirtz because that's how highly I believe in Florian Wirtz. But he's not doing it yet. But that would be it for me. Like, that France team is just ridiculous. The talent they have in attack is absolutely sensational. And do you know what really impressed me? Seeing Elise playing the 10 behind Mbappe. I thought he was incredible in that role. And his vision, his passing. Yeah. Haaland better than Kane. Is he? Well, you might want to tell the 61 or 60 something goals Kane scored this year, and one of them has a chance to win the Ballon d'Or this year, and his name isn't Erling Braut Haaland. I just think, if you're being honest, on form in world football right now, I'm Irish, so I've no fucking reason to want to big up Harry Kane. But it shouldn't even be a competition for me for the Ballon d'Or this year. I think just give it to Harry Kane. He's deserved it.
Fuck.
Haaland is 10 times the player. I would disagree. Look, Haaland's brilliant. No one's sitting here trying to say Haaland isn't good. I just think Kane has more of an all-rounded game. That, you know, you might not see Haaland in a game, but then he pops up with some brilliant goals. And, you know, it's hugely impactful physically. He's a beast. I'm not sitting here trying to knock Erling Haaland. Haaland's brilliant. I just think Kane has been on a different level scoring goals. And look at the goals he scored for England the other night. That second goal was way tougher than it looked, and it was just magnificent. 72 goals this season it is. Yeah, wow. That's crazy. What else have we got before we finish up? I will be putting out a late night news roundup video, by the way, which hopefully you guys can check out at half-time during the France game. Just check it. Oh, there's this one here. So there was a link for Liverpool with Almeria attacking midfielder Sergio Arribas, 24 years of age, 33 goals and assists in La Liga 2 last year for Almeria. Not sure really how credible the link is, but just a name that I thought I'd bring to the conversation with you guys. Ballon d'Or, it's either Mbappe or Dembele. They'll win the World Cup, so it'll be one of them. So are we just saying you ignore the Champions League, you ignore the league status, and it just goes to the World Cup winner? I just think that's ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong.
Join me as I put together a cheese board with salami and nuts to Today I'm using this bamboo tray with a clear lid, perfect for taking snacks to the park, a picnic, or even a party. It has compartments to keep everything neatly in place, handles on the lid that make it super easy to carry, and the best part, it's sturdy and easy to clean. It looks like a cutting board but with the functionality to take it anywhere. It's also a great gift idea for a friend who loves cooking or for when you need to bring a dish to a get-together. Tell me, where would you take it?
Well, I just think it should be Harry Kane, personally.
Down to one friendly.
Jacob said, thank you, Craig. Good to chill as I paint my door frames. Good show as always. Keep it up. Thank you, Jacob, but I hope the painting went well. I'm terrible with that stuff, mate. I just don't have the patience to even mask stuff off. I'm so lazy. You got an own one too. Even left bad. Oh, Michael Owen. I don't like Michael Owen, Jaden. No, I'm a Robbie Fowler person, and I do have a signed Robbie Fowler shirt, but I'm hoping to have another one quite soon. I also have Stevie G one, as you can see. I have Virgil van Dijk, Diogo Jota, Alisson Becker, Rio. I have Robbie Keane, LA Galaxy one. I have a few other ones. Alexis McAllister, Argentina. Yeah, like that's my hobby and passion. Like I don't drink, stuff like that, so I tend to frivolously spend my money on building up a memorabilia collection. I would say let's watch Kunde and Barcola. Oh, I'm looking forward to going in to watch the France game, don't get me wrong. I can understand where the chat numbers are going down a bit with that game getting close. It is one to look forward to, and I plan on being in there to watch most of it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, couple of things. If you can hit that like button for me before the stream finishes up, really would appreciate it. On the should Liverpool sign Nusa for £50 million, with the votes in now, 77% of you guys said yes, Liverpool should sign Antonio Nusa, and you can put me in that camp 100%. Late night video coming out soon. Then I'll be back here tomorrow. Same story again, I think, or was tomorrow no stream actually? I think tomorrow's no stream. 1 second. Bear with me. Just have to check my schedule.
Protect the bomb.
What's Sunday? Sunday. No, I will be streaming tomorrow, yeah. We'll have a stream tomorrow. So we'll be streaming about 8:30 tomorrow. So I'll be here about 4:30, stream about 8:30, and then we'll make a news video as well. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Really enjoyed the stream. Lovely to be back with you all. Thank you, Excel, for coming in, helping me with the chat, for being patient if there was any buffering or anything like that. Appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Again, if you can hit that like button, it would mean a lot.
Fair enough.
Personally, Dom is good enough to be backup striker, said Monster Madness. I don't think he is. More than good enough to play in an advanced role as attacking midfielder, but I don't want him as a backup striker, to be honest with you, mate. But love Dominic Soboslai to bits. Right, folks, we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the France.
Gold. Oh fuck. Fucking hell, man. Jesus fucking Christ. Damn. Okay, now, man. Oh, fuck it. Do the same thing.
We need to locate a bomb.
Oh, man. Okay, do.
The drone has found a bomb.
Come on. Hello.
10 seconds. 5 seconds. You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Okay, then. Oh, come on. Okay. Fucking mute channel. Okay.
One friendly operator remaining. 10 seconds. 5 seconds left. Time limit reached.
Fucking dirty bastards, man. Alright, I'm off now. See you in a bit.